What's up, sneaker fans? Thanks for tuning in to a More Than Hype review. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at a pair of 350 V2s in the bone colorway. If you'd like to support the channel, there's one really easy way to do it, and that's by clicking that subscribe button below. Alright, so in my last video of a 350 V2, which I think was the compacts, I mentioned that most likely they have to be planning on releasing a V3 soon. But every time I think this, a new 350 V2 comes out with a slightly different shade of a neutral or white color. And that's exactly what we have here today, in the form of a bone colorway. So let's get right into this review, starting with the packaging. And these come in our standard 350 V2 box. So we have 350 up top in large Yeezy font, as I like to call it, in this brown color. This very minimalistic, plain brown box look. If we look on this side, we have Boost. Nothing on the bottom here. Nothing on this end either. We have 350 V2 and made by Adidas on this side. And then on the opposite side, same text, but also our label. So now, taking a look at our label. Official name of these is Yeezy Boost 350 V2. Style code HQ6316. Official colors are bone 3 times. Far as sizing goes, I got a size 9 here. Obviously, from this little icon here, this is men's sizing. I find 350 V2s run a half size small, so I've sized up a half size for my true size, which is 8.5. So, for example, 8.5, I wore that in Air Maxes and Jordan 1s, and like Air Force 1s, I wear a size 8. I get a size 9 in V2s, and I like the fit. As I mentioned, this is men's sizing, so to convert to women's sizing in Adidas, it's one full size up, so the size 9 in men's would be a size 10 in women's. Now, this is something that's always very interesting to me, and it might not be if you're into sneakers, but the origin of where these came from, and this pair is actually made in India. So, at this present time, Yeezys are made all over the world, or have been made all over the world. I've seen so far China, Germany, Vietnam, the US, and now India to that list. Really impressed by how quickly they're able to move around their production, their factories to different countries. But yeah, this pair is made in India. And that about does it for the label. Now, let's take a look at the shoes. So, pull out box like this. We have this paper here that we always get in these. And then we have our shoes. So, definitely not white, very bone colored. But let's take both pairs out and take a closer look. Alright, now we got them out the box. Let's take a closer look at these 350 V2s in the bone colorway. Starting with the upper. And we get a bunch of different sort of densities of knit throughout the upper here. So starting with this mid panel, this is definitely the stretchiest part of the shoe. If I kind of show you from the inside, you can see how thin this is. And especially with this stripe being this translucent piece, these are going to be extremely breathable. A perfect warm weather shoe. Moving more towards the toe box here, we can see that, you know, we have a lot more of a substantial backing than we've seen or I've seen in 350 V2s. As they've progressed and sort of gone through the life cycle of the 350 V2, they've slowly started adding a larger piece inside of the shoe here. And this adds just structure to the shoe, some more support for the inside. After all, it is a knit, so just giving it that extra piece from the inside to keep its shape. And that does affect the fit. So we can see here a much denser knit right around these high wear areas. And if we look on the medial side, we get that same sort of pattern here on this side as well. This backing goes through this whole entire toe box, so from here all the way to this end, and we can kind of see that translated into where the knit sort of changes from this loose piece to this thicker knit pattern here. And then we get some more of that, I don't know, this crosshatch design for the heel area here. This pair does have a pull tab, so that is a welcome addition. I always really like the look of this pull tab here. These come stock with white rope laces, nothing on the aglets, and this is probably the best sort of comparison that I can give you to white versus bone. So when it comes to Yeezys, it's all a game of shades. If you're not into sneakers, that might be a little bit confusing, how just a shoe that looks exactly the same but is only a few shades away in color from another colorway could be a completely different shoe, but that's exactly how this thing goes. So if you look at the white on the laces, that's white. This is bone. So compare the two. We're like 3-4 shades away from like the cream colorway, and obviously the cream colorway doesn't have this translucent stripe on the side, but just the color itself is very close to cream, just not quite there. On the inside, on the heel, we have our 3 stripes going down the heel as usual. Nice added bit of padding around the heel. And then we'll see actually this globe icon as well as Yeezy on the sock liner. And what that's indicating to us is that this is a part of the Adidas End Plastic Waste initiative. Adidas has been doing that for a while with their collaboration with Parlay, but that's recently also spilled over into the Yeezy line. So now, anytime you see this icon in Yeezys, which is probably all of them now, that means that your product or your Yeezys have some amount of recycled materials in them. It's not like Nike where they show that there's X percentage by weight of recycled materials in your shoe, but it just states that there is some recycled materials being used in your Adidas product. And I could probably guess what those pieces are. First would be this translucent piece here, as well as all the backing on the inside. This looks very much like some of the threads that they've used in past Parley products. So this would be my first guess. And then the stitching for the 2 halves. So I think it's pretty apparent that there's a weird shine or glossiness to the knit that's tying these 2 halves together versus the knit that's the actual upper. And you can see that on the heel as well. So if I had to guess, this thread that they use or this webbing is probably also a recycled material. That about does it for the upper. So now looking at the midsole outsole, we have a semi-translucent rubber midsole here. So we can very faintly see the sort of boost wedge on the inside, but we get a much better look at that from the outsole, which has these exposed heel as well as forefoot areas here. Other than that, we have some very faint boost branding on the heel here. And then here's just a closer look at that boost in the heel. So overall, it's a white Yeezy. I mean, people are going to like it. I would say that this is the Yeezy for the general public. If you missed out on the cream colorway, or you have a pair of the creams and they are beat up, then these are, in my opinion, a viable replacement. You're really only a few shades away from that pure white color, but frankly, I like these more than the creams. And that's all I have to say about these. So, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next video.